A work rumor might have ruined my relationship. My boyfriend, 25 meters, and I, 21F, are on terrible terms right now and I just don't know what to do. I have never been in a situation like this and am kind of freaking out. I work in a restaurant with a bar and am also in college. Our relationship is very good and healthy and I pretty much live with him. He is very sweet, funny, intelligent, and very hot. We have been together for 2 years, no major problems. We have had small problems that were easily solvable. There is a guy, 29 meters, at work that has been there for around 5 months. There is a group of friends I have at work who I hang out with sometimes after work. He is included in this group now and usually goes. He likes to flirt and has hit on me several times. I shut it down when he takes it too far. When we are at friends' houses he always wants to talk to me, sit next to me, touch me in joking ways, except when my BF is there, of course. Someone gave him my number, or he may have gotten it from work somehow. He texts me every once in a while. Unless he asks me a specific question about something I ignore him. It is annoying sometimes but is not frequent. I have talked to my boyfriend about this. He will get upset about it sometimes but he never acts like that when BF is around. He has offered to talk to him. I told him not to, that I could handle it and it would just hurt me at work. He hadn't done anything, just doesn't like him. A few nights ago at work I had a break so I went to the walking to Vape. He followed me and started talking to me while in there. He was sitting directly across from me. A guy we work with walked in and he had his hand on my leg. I didn't think much of this at the time because it wasn't that unusual. He would do something like this and I would tell him to stop, he would laugh about it and apologize. This has turned into a huge rumor at work that we are sleeping together. Someone told my boyfriend about this but it has been twisted into him being all over me or making out. Last night when I got home he accused me of cheating on him and sleeping with this guy and we got into a huge fight. I told him what actually happened and have been trying to convince him. He doesn't know what to believe right now. I can't blame him really when it is a rumor and he was told this. I gave him my phone and blocked him. I have offered to quit my job but he hasn't told me one way or the other, but I don't want to go back to that place anyway. My boyfriend texted him and later they got into a screaming match. He told my boyfriend that he could have me anytime he wanted to. I guess I am lucky he didn't lie and say we were since they were fighting. This is my first real relationship and I love him. I am scared of losing him over this or our relationship being permanently damaged. I don't know what else to do to convince him or how to fix this. Any advice on dealing with this and helping my relationship? TLDR, there is a rumor going around work that I am sleeping with a coworker. It has gotten back to my BF and he accused me of cheating. Just to be very clear, we have never kissed or had ever.
Aside from everything else, it sounds like you should be very careful around this 29-year-old. He's nearly 30 and making unwanted advances on a 21-year-old. He hasn't stopped when asked and he told your boyfriend he could have you whenever he wanted. This is scary territory. Please be careful you're never left alone with him and try to avoid letting him know where you live. Or even being alone with him in the car park outside work or something. Maybe this sounds a bit overdramatic, but from your post it sounds like he feels entitled to you and that attitude can make situations go downhill fast.
It's not unusual for him to put his hand on your leg. That is a clear sign to me that the boundaries here are not where they need to be. There is no way I would be okay if my fiancé's female coworker thought she was allowed to rest her hand on my fiancé's leg, for even a moment. If he didn't make it absolutely clear to her that he was committed and that's not okay, I would be furious. There will always be men who test the boundaries of your relationship. You need to learn quickly how to make it abundantly clear that there are no blurred lines, there is no touching your leg, there is no flirting going too far with you when you're all out at the bar. I'm sensing you are not the type who likes conflict and avoids it, which makes this difficult work for you, but very need to convince your boyfriend you will work on setting boundaries with men who are attracted to you, and you will do it now, if you want to salvage this. Honestly, I'd be extremely upset if my fiancé spoke like this about a female coworker. I would need complete assurance that there will be no blurred lines in the future, with this person or with anyone. You should offer to block his number, to stop going out when he's out unless your boyfriend is there, etc. It's not that you can have male friends, but your male friends need to respect these things. If your coworker were dating someone and some guy treated her this way, he would probably be.
I'm so sorry. To me, it feels like you're the average young woman, a little too people-pleasing to set strong boundaries, recognize harassment versus flirting, and you are paying the price for encountering an older, strong-willed, disrespectful man when you clearly hope this doesn't cost you your relationship or your job. It would be unfair. Unfortunately, I think you need to learn from this that if you aren't more assertive, which people might give you grief for, many people are going to take advantage of it to try and get as much of what they want from you as they can. Sometimes, you can be as assertive as can be, and Oz will be Oz, and that's when you protect yourself by reaching for external help, HR, the police. Your safety and your goals come before anyone else's. Think your boyfriend is hurt and upset now. I hope in time he can understand what kept you from drawing stronger boundaries and you can find peace in the relationship, since it's this older colleague's fault as well as that of those who gossiped, if this happened. I'm not sure he will. It's a complicated dynamic, and his feelings might take over. If he doesn't, it's okay. This will be your chance to grow more into yourself and to find someone who suits you better, further down the line.
I've heard from a friend who used to work as a server that some of her previous coworkers were very flirtatious and the boundaries were very blurry between professional and not. I've heard stories about how this was the norm in restaurant business. I sure hope not, for servers, cooks, etc. to flirt, joke inappropriately. You need to know, if you don't know already, that you do not ever have to let anyone touch or flirt with you or joke inappropriately when you don't want them to. Don't think that you're being uncool or uptight for not wanting a rude Oz flirting with you. From this experience, you need to learn that you can shut people down, and blatantly so. Let them call you names, or accuse you for being uptight and uncool, or making their workplace uncomfortable, because you refused to be silenced and going along with people flirting with you. But you stay true to your boundaries. You do not have to go back to that work anymore. Find another work situation. If you can report that person to your manager, I'd say you should. Although I doubt it'll go anywhere, TBH. As for your BF, if I were you, I'd try to apologize to him for not clearly shutting things down earlier and making it very clear to that ex-coworker how inappropriate he was being. How you thought that the coworker would just leave you alone if you just ignore his advances. It didn't work like that, obviously. Now you've learned your lesson and you hope that he would trust you more than the rumor mill. If he doesn't trust you, this is not the guy for you anyway. Good luck.
You need to start talking to your managers about this nearly 30-year-old guy that keeps flirting with and touching you in unwanted ways. That's the bottom line.
I text my manager and told him what was going on and that I won't be back.
He had his hand on my leg. I didn't think much of this at the time because it wasn't that this is massively problematic to any relationship. A coworker is just sitting there with his hands on you and you are saying that not only did you not think much of it but this is a common occurrence. You also mentioned, he likes to flirt and has hit on me several times. I shut it down when he takes it too far, so some of the flirting is okay with you or you let it slide? This is a place of work. This guy doesn't respect you and probably doesn't respect anyone else very much. If you told him you were dating someone and he wasn't trash, he would have stopped all that day one. It's also in a workplace as well as out. His behavior is the kind of stuff that people get fired over for creating an unsafe work environment for others and harassment. However, it doesn't sound like any of this made you feel unsafe and it was really only a problem for you when your boyfriend found out. That's very telling. Take this as a learning experience and probably do some work on yourself. Set some boundaries and learn how to stick to them. Maybe you didn't kiss or hook up with someone, but you certainly let this continue. If it's something you wouldn't want happening with your partner, you shouldn't be doing it either.
I think you are far less alarmed than you should be about this guy's aggression. He knows you want him to back off, and he continues anyway. That's extremely scary behavior, and you are in more danger than you think you are.
I honestly can't say I blame your BF. Even when this guy was openly flirting with you, you continued to spend time with him in your group after work, even at other people's houses. You continued to allow him to text you and never blocked him. When he started touching your leg, why didn't you report him to your boss? Especially when he didn't stop the first time you told him not to. None of this looks an awful lot like shutting him down. If someone is being inappropriate, then shutting them down is more like not hanging out with them, walking away if they come to vape with you or speaking to your boss about them.
It's never normal to be touched without consent.
Hard lesson learned, don't let other people flirt or touch you. You need to shut that down hard and immediately, even meanly if need be, when it happens. The work dude is rude and disrespectful of you. But now you see the consequences of letting him continue with his actions instead of shutting it down.
So this guy has his hand on your leg? Texts you. Tells your boyfriend he could sleep with you whenever he wants. After your boyfriend hears from other people, you're all over each other making it work. You blocked his number, but you will see other guy the next time you clock in. I wouldn't wait for your boyfriend to decide for you to quit. You should just do quit to show him you picking him over them. Jobs come and go.
I also think, downhill very fast, needs to be spelled out because people often convince themselves that it can't be that bad or it's fine as long as it's just an incident that means SA, stalking, general meddling, exaggerated rumors like who says he doesn't have a hand in this. What does he share with coworkers? But seriously, if a guy feels at all entitled to you, you might think it's a stretch, but to him, SA is the natural next escalation. And they will escalate if there is not a good reason to stop. In their mind, the woman's feelings don't make an impact here, but legal threats might.
Agreed. This needs more attention.
I second this. It's not unusual for this guy to have his hand on your leg, even though you repeatedly tell him to stop. He persistently hits on you even though you keep shutting him down. He is perpetuating a horrible rumor to your boyfriend. He's a psycho and he doesn't respect your boundaries. He has pushed all of them and he could very likely be actually dangerous.
Genuine question, how would you go about setting boundaries with a person like him? He repeatedly touches her and she sits through it because telling him, no, don't touch me, doesn't work at all, and he'll do it. I would be afraid to confront a guy a decade older than me who says things like he could have me anytime he wanted to.
Yeah, basically emo, she needs to tell the boss that either the creep goes or she goes. And pref see if other female staff can back her up on it, since she's probably not alone about this guy being like that.
I don't know how everyone else is glossing over that part. Having his hand on her lap while they are talking is intimate and a huge boundary she let him cross, and didn't think anything. Her boyfriend had a girl who kept touching his leg while she talked to him and pursued him sexually. I don't think Op would take it well. My personal opinion is she's playing naive now because of the blowback she's recently received from this relationship.